Hi everyone. I've been wanting to do a video to try to explain why I believe Mark 11 is all about DNA, as well as other chapters in the Bible that are number 11, as well as verses in the Bible that are number 11. They seem to oftentimes, if not always, have to do with DNA. And of course, this is a theme throughout the Bible. It's not just in chapter 11 or verse 11 that this shows up, but it's a common theme throughout the Bible that this is all about DNA. And I wanted to try to explain that, starting with an explanation of Mark 11. And as you can see, I've been doing a lot of research up here, and everything that I've seen seems to confirm that, and the information is really overwhelming. There's just so much to explain. But I just want to quickly show you a few tables for now. And I just want to explain first that I just recently finished watching this video over here by Jonathan Klecks. I had started watching it some time ago, but I had never finished watching the video. And so I watched the rest of the video just recently, and at this part right here where he was talking about this picture, I'll just try to play part of the video and I'll see if it picks up any sound.
Out of her own skin, like her twin is dead. The good part of her is dead, and here's the new race. Do you understand? Let me just take a minute to talk to you. Do you understand that this image is perfect? It is a perfect representation of the truth. It's a race within the race of humanity, and you're shedding the good you, and the evil one is taking over. He said, my spirit will no longer strive with man, because his thoughts were continually evil. Folks, let me tell you something. That's where we're at. I mean, just look at these people that support Hillary Clinton. Look at the people that are behind Obama and this leftist movement. They're Satanists, straight up Satanists. Their evil twin has hatched. And all the others that might have any morality, they've been identified now because they voted for Trump, and they are clearly identifiable now. So when something goes wrong, like New York getting nuked, which is printed on your $100 bill, as well as the $10 bill, shows a tidal wave covering New York City. When that happens, what do you think is going to happen? There's not going to be any government. There's going to be a guy that comes in. Oh, they're going to be begging for someone to fix things. Mr. Obama. I'm telling you, it's the perfect storm. It's a complete setup. And you're looking at a perfect representation of a race within the race of humanity. Just like Lady Gaga said. That's why in that hieroglyph I showed you, where the head of the kid is an egg and there is a dead sheep, which represents this part right here. See the skin that's died, this part. And then there is a reptile which represents this part, the serpent's race. Get it? The serpent and the dead sheep. That's it. Mystery solved.
Okay, so he said in this video that it's all about the serpent and the dead sheep. The mystery is solved. So I was inspired to do a table on that, and so I put in serpent and sheep, and it's no surprise that it comes up with 11 matches. Actually, I just added dead sheep just to be sure that comes up also. So the mystery is all about the serpent and the dead sheep. It's all about the DNA that's been corrupted. And as you can see, that comes up in number 11, or it comes up with 11 matches. And it's interesting where this comes up in Genesis 49, because this is just after 49:11, which I've explained before. This is the restoration of the temple, and this is all about DNA. And I can put the links to the video where I explained this. I'm not going to try to explain it again. but this is representing the DNA being restored by Christ. He's the choice vine that's joined to the vine. This is all about DNA. Okay, so this comes up with 11 matches, and it's really interesting to see the way the word sheep comes up in these tables. Okay, this is match 2, and as you can see, sheep comes up in ELS form, and this one is coming up in Psalm 139. And it's saying over here, deliver me, O Jehovah, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. They have sharpened their tongue like a serpent. Keep me, O Jehovah, from the hands of the wicked. And then you see sheep comes up in ELS form right here, where it's saying, Thou art my God, give ear unto the voice of thy supplications. So Jehovah, Jehovah the Lord, the strength of my salvation, thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not to Jehovah the desires of the wicked. Further not his evil device, lest they exalt themselves. Selah. For the head of those that compass me about, let them mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. And this is where you have sheep, where the sheep is praying out to the Lord, to Jehovah. Okay, and the third match is coming up in Isaiah 14, and I've talked about this chapter before. This is where Lucifer gets cast out of heaven, and you see the word sheep is coming up in ELS form over here in this part, and so I'll just try to read that part. Okay, as you can see, it's right under where it says Jehovah hath founded Zion, so I'm going to read from there. Okay, it says, What then shall one answer the messengers of the nation? That Jehovah hath founded Zion, and in her shall the afflicted of his people take refuge. The burden of Moab, for in a night Ar of Moab is laid waste, brought to naught, for in a night Ker of Moab is laid waste and brought to naught. They are gone up Baeth and to Dibon, to the high places to weep. Moab waileth over Nebo, and over Mebedah. On all their heads is baldness, every beard is cut off. In their streets they gird themselves with sackcloth, on their housetops, and in their broad places everyone waileth, weeping abundantly. And this sounds like the fall of Babylon. But the sheep take refuge in Jehovah that hath founded Zion. Okay, the fourth match is coming up in Isaiah 14 again, so I'll just go to the next match. Okay, this one is coming up in Jeremiah 46, and you see sheep is coming up straight up and down in this one. And so I'll just read the first couple of verses. It says, The sound thereof shall go like the serpent, for they shall march with an army, and come against her with axes as hewers of wood. They shall cut down her forests, saith Jehovah, though it cannot be searched, because they are more than the locusts, and are innumerable. The daughter of Egypt shall be put to shame. She shall be delivered into the hand of the people of the north. Jehovah of hosts, the God of Israel, saith, Behold, I will punish Ammon and No, and Pharaoh and Egypt, with her gods and her kings, even Pharaoh, and them that trust in him. Okay, so this again is sounding like the fall of Babylon and the Exodus, the first Exodus, where the Jews fled from Pharaoh. Okay, the next one is coming up in Amos 9. This is the sixth match, and you see dead sheep over here, and then you see serpent over here. And it reads, I saw the Lord standing beside the altar, and he said, smite the capitals, that the thresholds may shake, and break them in pieces on the head of all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. There shall not one of them flee away, and there shall not one of them escape. Though they dig into Sheol, which is hell, thence shall my hand take them, and though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and it shall bite them. But sheep is coming up where it says, I will slay the last of them with the sword. And of course the sword is the word of God that the sheeps use to fight the enemy. But of course this is talking about the sword that comes out of the Lord's mouth that will slay them, which again is the word of God. And it's interesting that the word comes right within the word sword. Okay, the next one is coming up in Matthew 7, and this is the 7th match. And in this one, sheep comes up in the plain text, and dead comes up in ELS form. But the part about the sheep is, it's where it's talking about sheep's clothing. Over here it says, beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves. And that's really interesting because that sounds exactly like this picture. Okay, I just backed it up a little bit so you could see it better, how she's shedding the sheep's skin and then the serpent is coming out. Okay, this next one is coming up in Matthew 10, and it's saying, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Okay, and this is the 9th match out of 11, and I think this one is really amazing because you can see sheep encoded here in ELS form with the letters S, H, E, E, P, and it's actually sharing the P in serpent. And then you see the word dead over here, but sheep is crossing right through the word serpent. And this is where it says in Revelation 12, and there were given to the woman 2 wings of the great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. And so that's where you have sheep, because the sheep are going to flee to the wilderness. Okay, and the 10th match is just a duplicate of that one. And the 11th match is coming up in Revelation 19. And again, you see sheep coming straight up and down. See the word dead coming over here at an angle and the word serpent over here. But whenever it comes straight up and down, that's really important. And so I'll go ahead and read part of this text. I'll just start from here. It says, and I saw an angel coming down out of heaven, having the key of the abyss and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years, and cast him into the abyss, and shut it and sealed it over him, that he should deceive the nations no more, until the 1,000 years should be finished. After this he must be loosed for a little time. And so you see the word sheep is coming over here, and it's right where I just stopped reading, and then the rest of it goes on to say, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that had been beheaded for the testimony of Jesus and for the word of God, and such as worshipped not the beast, neither his image, and received not the mark upon their forehead. And that's where you have the word sheep. And I have a lot of other interesting tables. I've done a ton of tables that seem to confirm that this is all about DNA. But I just want to share this one right here, because this one is coming up in Joshua 11. And again, this is really interesting. I've I believe this proves that this is all about DNA as well, but I'll have to do that in the next video. Thank you.